right, today I'm going to talk about some of my favorite books in business. Now, most of you might think, I don't like reading. It takes too much time, or I'm not a great reader. Well, guess what? I'm a terrible reader. Well, I used to be. And if you really want something different, you got to do something different. And I made a goal in 2021 that I was going to start reading, and I've read over 36 books now. I even surprised myself. The very first book that I started with was The 21 Irrefutable Laws by John Maxwell. And he's got a great set of books. This one really resonated with me because at the time I was running my business, I was wearing all the hats in the business. I was the salesperson, I was the operations manager, I did all the bookkeeping, all the paperwork, I did all the onboarding, all the hiring, you name it. I did everything. And it was wearing me thin, and it gave me a limited amount of work that I could do in my business. I could only get to this level, which is what John Maxwell calls the law of the lid. Now, every business is gonna hit a lid where you can't perform any more than what your abilities are. So the law of the lid allowed me to learn to delegate the jobs that I'm not good at. So in order to excel past those limitations, I had to delegate. And the first hire I did, which was the most amazing hire, and I would recommend it over anybody else, is an administrative assistant to help you with your bookwork, your emails, everything that you really don't like doing and you're not really making that much money. One of the other laws that really stood out to me was the law of the big MO. Now, what does that stand for? It stands for momentum. Now, it's like pushing a boulder off a cliff. It takes a lot of energy to push this boulder, to get it to start rolling, but once you have some momentum, it keeps rolling and it keeps picking up speed. And very much like reading, it was hard for me to read. I could read slowly, I didn't understand words, but I started to pick up momentum and I could read faster. I could comprehend the words a lot faster. When I started making the changes in my business, I realized we were picking up speed and it was actually driving itself, which was exciting. I'm not 100% sure if this was the second book that I went to, but it was darn close. Atomic Habits is really about habit building. We all have those things that we don't like doing. We don't like the fact that maybe we're lazy, or maybe we don't really want to look at our finances, or we don't want to do the things that really matter most. The first thing you do in the morning, you look at your phone, then you build from that habit. You either decide, okay, I'm gonna look at my phone, but before I look at my phone, I'm gonna go and make myself a coffee, or I'm gonna read 10 pages in a book before I look at my phone. So you start tagging on other habits to your already established habits. So Atomic Habits have really transformed my personal life. I've also realized that we get specific joy out of certain things. Like you might look at your phone and it brings you emotion. And that emotion, whether it's good or bad, your body craves that emotion. So that's why you get into these habits. So if you create negative results from the habits that you don't want to have, let's say you don't want to look at your phone anymore, and you look at it saying that every time I look at my phone, I get a little bit more depressed and a little less motivated. So then you start associating that feeling with bad habits. And then you learn to associate good feelings with good habits, and it helps build your character. Okay, this was a recommendation by someone from BTA, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team. It's an interesting book because what it is this owner of this company hired someone to become a CEO. And I can't remember what her name was, but she came in and she spent 2 weeks learning what everyone does within the team. And she didn't say anything. She didn't tell anyone how they're doing their job, whether they're doing it they're right or they're doing it wrong, but she took a lot of notes. And then she decided to have an off-site meeting with everyone on the team. So they're like marketing, finance, whatever, whoever's on the team. I can't fully remember because it's been a couple years, but I do remember one specific point when she went off-site. She wanted everyone's attention, and one of the things that she hit right away was she wanted everyone on the team to talk about what they're not good at, as well as what they're good at. This built trust within the team. the team members realized, oh my goodness, Sally in accounting, or whatever her name was, she wasn't actually good at this aspect, and yet we always dump everything on her for this particular aspect. So it got people to realize, it made people realize what their strengths and what their weaknesses were so that you could work as a team. It also talks a lot about accountability, because once you know what your role is and you're good at, you're going to fulfill that promise that you're going to do that role and be accountable to the person that needs that done. Just remember that being vulnerable with your teammates is really, really key so that everyone knows your strengths and your weaknesses. Another great book is Mindset by Carol Dweck. In this book, it talks about, do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? One thing I really noticed about the fixed mindset that I like, it was in the way we bring our children up. And this really stands out for me because if your child is an all-star, they are naturally talented, and you say to your child, wow, you're amazing, you have natural talent, then when they get older, they think they're gonna fail because they're not talented in that area. But if you were to say to your child, I really think you made the best effort, and I commend your effort and your ability to try and pursue something. That creates a growth mindset, because then as you get older, it's not you having this natural talent, but the fact that you are persistent and consistent in your ability to face adversity and grow from that. Here's the big book, the best one, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. I love the book. It is a game changer. Now, a lot of the principles that he has in here, basic principles, I was already doing, and I didn't realize I was doing them. I just didn't have a system for doing that. Because what happens as entrepreneurs, our company starts to grow and we hire out our favorite positions in the company. And as an entrepreneur, we're stuck behind the desk, answering calls, checking emails. A little bit of a snippet of what I've taken from this book, just from the first couple chapters, is auditing your time. So I have a timer that goes off on my phone, not right now because we're filming, that tells me, hey, go into your notes and write down what you did for the last 15 minutes or half an hour. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, I decided to do what Dan says, write out everything that you did, from answering emails to playing a video game to working out, going for a walk, whatever you do, write it down. Then you want to put a dollar sign between each one. So it's a $1 sign would be the lowest value that brings to you, and $4 signs would be the highest. Then, after you've written it all out, you need to highlight it, green and red. In this case, I had orange. Green means you love that job. It lights you up. You're fired up about it. Red means you absolutely hate the job. So that's what I did. I've got it right here, just a quick glimpse at it. And then I took all the jobs I hate doing and all the jobs that are low value for me, and I've transferred it to someone else to do that job. And the jobs that have high value, either in your investment quadrant or your production quadrant, that you love doing, I'm trying to do more of that, because that's what really drives me. That's what makes me excited, and that's what makes us the most money, makes this company thrive. In Dan Martell's book, he talks about one of the best ways to hire people, and that is to ask the potential candidate to send in a video, a 3-minute video with 5 questions that they have to answer. And the questions are, why are you interested in this position? What do you know about our company? What is your ideal work environment? What are your strengths? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? There is no right answer as far as I'm concerned. I mean, maybe you might have some right or wrong answers here, but what happens is you'll find half your candidates, they won't send you the video, but not only that, the ones that do send the video, you see how they think and you see how they interact. You understand how they articulate. Interesting fact too, there was probably 15 people that emailed me back or phoned me or texted me saying, hey, I don't know what you mean by upload a video, or I can't figure out how to upload the video. Or they would answer the questions via text or send me an email. I knew right away that those 15 people, they were not a good fit for the company because they can't follow instructions. So really good tips. Dan, you really did it again. I mean, if you're watching this video, I don't know what to say, man. This is yo, did yourself here. I'm a construction worker, man. I didn't need to go to college or university to get a degree to become a builder. I literally, out of high school, I became a carpenter. And that's my industry. I'm not that well versed with my language, and reading books actually made me sound smarter. My staff would even say, "You're different, what's going on?" And they contributed all that to me reading. And if you say, "I don't know how to read books," or "I can't read," or "I'm a terrible reader," you're missing out on some really important things in life. It's fun to look back and say, I've read all these books and they've changed my life significantly. I would love to go back and read all the same books again, because if I was to do it all over again, I would have my highlighter with me and highlight everything that was important to me and implement every single step along the way. If you like this video, please make a comment. We want to hear from you. If you've got a recommendation for a really good book, yeah, add that in the comments, because if people are listening to this, they're going to want to find out, well, what book should I read first? So add your favorite book in the comments. Really want to hear from you. Don't forget to hit the bell notification and hit that subscribe button. We want to have you on our subscribers list. And thanks for watching.